Welcome to an incomplete guide to personal growth. We invite you to take a breath and take a listen to our podcast that explores the wonder, humor, challenges, and sometimes those self-inflicted wounds on a journey of personal growth.
Our weekly podcast conversations include stories, resources, and tools that you can incorporate into your daily life. We're the mother-daughter duo of Sydney
And Kelly. Hey, Sydney. Oh,
Hey,
you're
Mom.
not ready.
It's okay. I got it.
Okay.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Sydney, you just had to go first.
No, it's
Okay.
all whatever. This
all
is
good.
unedited, so we'll see how
Unedited.
it goes in the actual thing.
Okay.
So I was thinking, I think I mentioned this to you the other day, driving, because summer people do road trips,
Yeah.
or I just like to drive.
I do too.
And how I just have my little sedan Honda Accord.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your kind of mini SUV-ish.
It's an
right?
SUV.
Audi or whatever.
Yeah.
So big.
It's not so big. I got the medium one.
I know, but it feels so big.
So big yeah.
That size car is literally I think the biggest size car I could drive.
You could drive. Yeah.
I just can't. And I know plenty, my friend Cassidy loves driving bigger cars
Bigger
and
cars,
trucks
right?
and stuff. My
Yeah.
friend Cassie likes her bigger SUV and but Mackenzie's probably my friend Mackenzie's probably the only
Yeah.
one that's like me and I like to be as close to the ground as I possibly can. Hug that road.
You like to zzz, yeah. But
Yeah.
see, I feel like mine does, but
No.
I know it's still big. Yeah.
It doesn't.
I know. But you think about it, I went from, when
Your little Mustang.
I had a Mustang. That thing was nice back in the day when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And then in college. And then, but then when we had y'all, and eventually I had I went from a minivan
Right.
to a
Toyota Highlander.
Highlander,
That was
which was
good.
still big, but it was good, you
Yeah.
know. And so when y'all were out, it was like, okay, I got to I like,
Yeah, and then
I
you have
like
the
something
CRV.
small. But I will always, and part of it is because of where we live, our driveway,
I know.
your car and Dad's,
Just barely. You have to, go
you
a
have
little
to
slow.
slow down at the bottom,
Or else you're gonna bump.
you scrape. And I don't like to do that. And coming up too, you have to slow down
Just a
because
little
it kind of
bit,
dips
yeah.
and goes up because we have steep. And it's like, no, I just have to zoom, so I can never have one.
No. But I just think it's everybody has their
Preferences
But
of
I
what
was just
they
thinking
like.
about it.
Yeah, you
recently.
like to do that. Yeah.
Small cars.
Yep. I
As
think you
long
and
as
Dad
as
both
long as
like
I can
that,
have
low to the ground.
Yeah, the longest that I can get away with having a small car. I know eventually,
Yeah,
you know,
may
if
have
Charles
to-
gets
yeah.
extracurriculars and I got to pack stuff in the car, I'll have to get something
And
bigger.
kids,
but
yeah, you
yeah.
will.
For
You
now,
will.
though,
You enjoy it while
love
you
my
can.
little car.
Yeah, I did too. Only you didn't get tickets, so that bully
That's
for
right.
you.
That's right. That's funny.
I know.
So, to me, driving could be a way that I get rid of my boredom. And
Okay.
So we got anti-boredom.
Anti-boredom. And, boredom is a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it, but
Oh, yeah.
psychologists have studied
Yes.
it. And I thought, and there's a couple definitions.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is a real easy one, I think, makes it clearest. Boredom may occur when you feel energetic but have nowhere to direct your energy. Okay, but boredom is a state of mind characterized by lack of interest or motivation and engagement with the world around us. When we're bored, we may feel restless, irritable, and unfulfilled. So, we may also experience physical symptoms like fatigue and a lack of energy.
Interesting.
So I think, and it can be associated with mental health stuff. But we're not dealing with that.
No, we're not dealing.
We're dealing with
bored. Yeah, people being
I'm
bored.
so bored.
I know.
Yeah.
Wasn't that our phrase as a kid?
Yeah, and they talk about
Well,
that.
and it's
with
so
kids.
healthy. It'll be
Yeah.
it's so healthy. You want, because there's so many things now. It's you want your kids to feel bored. You want them to
Yes.
feel bored at some point, and you don't help them out with figuring it out. It is incredibly helpful to their mental and imagination and all that development to have them be bored, and they have to figure out what they're going to do about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because I would say, oh, you're bored. Well, you can vacuum.
No.
Somehow that didn't ever go over well. But, you know.
I probably'd say
Yeah.
yes now, but as an adult,
As
like,
an ad-
I guess I need to
I
get
guess
that
I
done.
need to do that.
You know, it's like on the list of things to
That's
do.
funny.
But I think like, yeah, my boredom as a kid versus now, I think definitely like feels different. You
different.
know, it's like when I was bored as a kid, it was just like, well, what? And then eventually you figure out something to play or whatever.
Do you remember you used to be so you used to be bored, and your dad and I would say, "We'll go outside and shoot baskets."
I'm like, I don't want to do that.
We used to do that as kids and loved it.
No.
And you were like, "No. I'm like, "Why? It's so fun." You just thought we
Because
were.
I am not a sports person.
You never took us up on that,
No.
or you didn't want to do it by yourself. And I'm like,
I think
that's
that
the
too.
best time.
I know I was very like people had to be around me growing up. Yeah,
know.
I could not do
You
stuff
really
by myself.
did.
Yeah.
I think
And I'm very opposite now.
Yeah, good for you.
But
Yeah.
then like my boredom now, it's almost
Yeah.
just like, okay, I've got my to-do list. It's almost just like the boredom almost comes from because I'm not used to sitting still. You know, I feel like the
Yes.
boredom is like, oh, I've done my list. I don't have anybody else around. I don't have anything to, like, there's nothing I have to read. There's nothing I have to, it's like, I don't have anything to do. So now what do I do?
So now what do I do? Right?
I feel like that's my boredom now.
Yeah, and I
is
think
from
that's
that.
it. Yeah, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Or what do I want to, like
Yeah.
maybe I've done my list, or I've done everything that I like on my list.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you're stuck with stuff you don't
And
like.
stuff I don't like. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's funny. But yeah, so I feel like boredom changes.
Yeah.
like
And,
I see.
I was thinking this because of a trip I'm going to be taking. And I thought, so let's say I'm at a museum and
Because
I'm
we know that's your
bored,
favorite place to
right?
be.
So what do you do in situations like that? And I thought, well, as a kid or even as an adult now, okay, well, we'll go to this museum and then we're going to get to do this. Oh, okay. So the boredom feels different. And I'm like, I can pay attention for this long because I'm going to get to go
You're
do
like
this.
a child. Oh my God. That is literally what I would do for a child.
Welcome to my childish world. That's how I still live my life.
That is funny.
But I was thinking, yeah, so because that would tie into
Oh my gosh.
when we were in Rome that time and you and Dad were paying attention. I was like,
and
how
you and Lauren
long
were
is
just
this?
like,
Yeah.
so done. That was so funny.
But yeah, so it was a boredom comes from different.
Yes. See, and for some people, going to a museum would like cure their boredom.
It would cure their boredom.
Yeah.
And it might mind, depending upon what.
So I
So
figure.
what do you do when you're bored?
Yeah, when I'm bored, I'll listen to music. If I haven't like listened to anything recently, I've got I try and now keep a couple books on my list, so then I can just like go into reading. I'll go for a walk if I don't have kids, but if I have kids, then I'm not bored.
Yeah, that kind of cures some of it, doesn't it?
Go for a walk. If I have any shows on my list, binge something. Sometimes I'll journal, like it's like, okay, I need to intentionally like write some stuff down, or go for a drive. Those are kind of my main things.
Will you play the piano?
Yes, but nobody has to be home.
Oh, so you're
Well,
bored.
you could be home and you could be outside.
Because I don't listen.
I know. If you're like outside, then that's fine.
Okay.
But if somebody else other than you is home,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
But now I have the keyboard in my room, so that helps. So I might do that more.
So you might do that
But no,
more.
now I think because piano is such like a bonus thing for me, and it's not like a job anymore. I'll play the piano when I'm bored.
Because I'll do that sometimes.
Yeah.
If nobody's home.
And there's some days it's like sometimes it hits me, and it's just like, oh, I'm finding all of this music interesting. And then other days I go over there, I'm like, nothing is speaking to me, so let me find something else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for the most part, I usually can find something I want to play. Yeah.
Yeah, when I'm bored, I'll go sit outside. Or, but I like to sit outside no matter.
And I think like this summer, whenever I get bored, I'm just going to go to the pool.
Yeah.
That's my plan.
Yeah.
Is to go to the pool and sit there. But yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
But you go for a walk
I'll
too.
go for a walk. I do that. And
Yeah.
I'll read. Or the sad thing is when you're bored and try to look for something to watch and there's absolutely
Absolutely
nothing that gets
nothing.
your interest
Yes.
either.
Yes.
That's sad.
It's the worst. I know with how many options we have. I think
Yeah.
another thing I'll do is like we have an outdoor mall. Go and like drive over there and just walk around.
And walk around.
'Cause
Yeah.
not that I'm shopping for anything, but it's
No,
nice.
just to clear
And then
that.
people
Yeah.
watch. You know, that's always entertaining.
Yeah.
So I feel like but then I feel like there's still just some days where you're bored and it just literally nothing works.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. I think that's a mental state that we
Probably,
get to.
yeah.
You know, to go, there's nothing that I want to use my
Yeah.
time for, you know, or
Yeah.
whatever. And I think that is, and they talk about that as
Really?
being just, it's a mental state we all experience.
Interesting.
And yeah,
Man.
because there's nothing. And the other thing is, now there's different types of boredoms where people get bored doing a task.
Yes.
Maybe it's too hard or it
Yeah.
takes too much attention and you're not, so again, you're not matching your energy with what you
with
want
what
to
you're
do.
doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think about that, you know, sometimes you go to a class and the lecture is like,
Oh, they mentioned that.
my
Yes.
gosh, when does this end?
Yeah.
You know, and I think in that case, either the times that I've experienced that, it's like I already know the material, or people are asking too many questions, or the professor's not going quick enough. So it's like they're not matching my level of energy of like
Exactly.
knowledge.
Of knowledge. This is what I want to learn more.
Yeah.
This is
Or I didn't read. I don't know what they're talking about, and I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah. Yeah. There's that. That's
I feel like those are the two times. So it's like I think I like that idea
Yeah.
of like you have to match your energy level with the task.
Isn't that a great
That
way?
is really cool.
Yeah, and I think I'll think on that more because when I'm bored, okay, what is it you're wanting? And sometimes I know because I used to do yard work and I enjoyed it, and now I don't do that because of where we are, and it's like, what are you gonna do to fill that part of it?
Yeah.
And and that's hard.
That is.
They talk about with children though that complain of boredom. They may be also uncomfortable dealing with their own thoughts or feelings.
Oh, yeah.
You got to be busy, otherwise you might think. Mm-hmm. And if you're thinking about what you're going through or something, then you try to avoidance.
That's interesting.
And I don't. They say that with children. I'm guessing adults may get
too.
that
I'm sure.
too,
Oh yeah. I mean,
you know?
I know there are times I do things to avoid whatever the heck is going
Yeah.
on. You
Yeah.
know?
So
That's interesting. I'll have to make note because then as Charles gets older, it's
Yeah,
like,
when they get older, it's
maybe the
like-
first question should be, "Are you feeling okay?
are you feeling okay? Is
Is
something
there something
going
you
on?
want to talk
Yeah.
about?"
Yeah.
And then, but there are other times where
There are
there's
other
not
times
because
they're
there are
just-
definitely times as a kid where I didn't have anything going on. I'm just
No,
like
you're
bored.
just bored because you don't. You hadn't y'all put a pool in. That was the big thing. Anytime you were bored,
That was the most common phrase.
It was.
I
It was
know in our
like,
childhood. Why did you not
you
put on a
don't have
poll?
a job to pay for it.
And you wouldn't be the one keeping it clean.
Yes, there's a whole host of
A whole
reasons.
host of reasons not
Take
to
you
have
to
a
the
pool.
Y anytime you want.
Why? Oh, we
And
did
we
that
did.
a lot. We did that a
Yeah.
lot. That is so
yeah.
so funny.
Yeah,
And I
but
think,
I think summer, go to the movies. Except for I used to do that, but now there's not as much out.
I
And
know,
if
there's
I'm
not as
watching a movie at home, I'm thinking, oh, you really could be doing something.
yeah,
Or this needs to be done. And I get
I get
distracted.
that too. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But I used to go to the movies and enjoy that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying and like, I mean, because pretty much all the other stuff that we so listed so far doesn't really cost any money.
Yeah, I was
which
thinking
is
that
good.
too.
But I mean, I was thinking it's like you could like paying for an hour of bowling's not that expensive.
Yeah,
You can go
and
do
that's fun to
go
do.
do something.
Yeah. That golf place.
Oh, Top
Golf, yeah. Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Could do that. And I do feel like, yeah, I will get into a cycle of, well, I have to be more productive.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I have to
No,
should
no,
I be
I'm
doing
just teasing. I
should I
do.
do this? Should I be
Yeah.
but it's like I can't come up with anything that has to be done in the moment. So then I get bored.
Or me, I'm like, oh, I like to do that in the morning. And, well, it's noon now. I like to get on my, like if I'm cleaning stuff
I do that
out.
sometimes too,
It's
though.
like, well, it's noon. It's past my work time. My productivity is downhill, so I won't do that.
So funny.
Isn't that awful?
Oh my gosh. I do that sometimes too, though.
But,
Like, it's like, it's past 4:00. Nah.
And, yeah.
Nothing
No,
needs to be done
not doing
now.
it. That's right. That's right.
But I think like it's so I mean, you could do things like learning something new, do some self-reflection, cook or bake, calling a friend. But again, I think like, and I listed those out and like wrote these notes a while ago, but then honestly, I was like, God, but at the same time, like, what is your energy level in your boredom state?
Yeah.
Do you have the energy to call a friend? Sometimes I really don't.
You don't. Right. And so what is your energy level? Yeah, I love that. I'm just going to watch that now when I get bored. What is it that what's your energy level that you're trying to fill? And what might do that?
Yeah. And pick your activity based on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Isn't it? We'll put that one in the notes for sure.
Yes. I was trying to think, is it the Met used to have like operas you could watch online.
Yeah.
That was all. I did that a lot. Like during COVID, they did that.
Yeah, they did that a lot then.
It was really good. So I watched a lot
PBS app.
Yeah,
if you join
some
it,
good stuff.
And they have all kinds from years past, really great performances and different things.
And so, because I think like, to me, like music or watching something is kind of like my initial
go to.
But, it's like then you get bored of the same stuff.
Right,
all the time.
right. I know.
Yeah. But do you have like, if you're feeling bored, do you have books that you go to at all? Like, do you have different?
Yeah, I do. Because I do. And sometimes it's like, those cheesy little mysteries aren't going to do it for you, Kelly. You're wanting your brain to be challenged. You're wanting to wanting to think a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you're feeling hollow in this area. So then I'll pick up some kind of either something along the lines of spirituality and trying to read something different there.
Yeah.
Or every once in a while I'll find a really good biography. And I just found one I'll have to share with you later. That I think, that I like.
Yeah.
And, something that has a little more meat to it.
Substance.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that for you. I'd usually go for if I'm like bored, I'll go for the easy.
For the easy read. A lot of times I do, but then it's like you're bored, but that's not what you're trying to fill. You're hungry for something to grow.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll do.
And I think being in that bored state, it makes it like that has to be a time that I don't buy. Like I'm not going to think about buying anything, right?
Oh man, I bought a pillow the other day because I was bored. And it's going to come in and I'm going to go, this is a weird looking pillow. Well, my neck is always bothering me off and on. And
but I think doing any sort of online shopping in a bored state is dangerous. I didn't mean to. I was just thinking about for myself. I did. Like, I do not browse online when I'm bored.
Yeah, I was. That's when I was with Dad, and I was like, with Grandpa, and I was like, oh my gosh, what could I buy? I really, literally thought. And I bought this pillow, but luckily it's returnable.
Well, maybe you like it.
I might like it, but at least it's returnable. It has
That is funny. Oh my gosh.
I know.
But I do think like when you're bored, it's dangerous.
I'm not advocating this.
No, it can be. I don't do any online browsing when I'm bored because I know what's going to happen.
That's how QVC or whatever, all those things make their money.
Yes, that's how they make, because it's people sitting there.
Yeah,
I think something and they're bored.
The house that we bought in Collierville, I think that lady was bored because when we viewed the house, every closet was full of clothes and they had tags on them.
What?
And there were just two people living. Yeah, and her house was full of all kinds of stuff. So I think she was bored.
I think so.
So.
But yeah, so avoid that when you're bored. I don't know why I thought about that, but I was like,
that's a good one.
Not
good
when
advice.
I'm bored.
Because then you have to go return. I'm gonna have to make a stop at UPS. I have a feeling.
That is so funny. I'm trying to think what else to not do when you're bored.
Go shop. Well, shopping even in the mall for me. You can walk around.
I can walk around and not buy anything. Yeah, that's not too dangerous.
Don't go to Target or
Walmart.
Walmart. Whatever your store is like that, because you'll find
those
something.
Are
goofy stuff that you find that you don't need.
Yes, yeah,
even goofier than pillows.
Yes.
So
and I think then too when you're bored, like mentally spiraling. You know, it's like you got to quiet your mind somehow.
Yeah, or don't go to the refrigerator or the pantry for me.
Really?
Yeah.
See, when I'm bored, I don't really like. I will think I'm hungry, but then I can't even make a decision on what to eat.
That,
I can't make a decision on what to do. I can't make a decision
so I
on what
just
to eat.
sample everything.
Oh, really? No,
Is this
I
what
just don't
want?
eat anything.
No, that cheese wasn't it either. Let me pick up some of this. And it's like, wow, you just
so
sampled
funny.
everything. And no.
I did not know you did that. No, I don't. I just can't make any decisions on any, like, I can't decide what to eat when I'm bored. I can't. And so I'll just go hungry. I will literally just go hungry.
Isn't that funny? Because I can remember, I'd be looking in the refrigerator and my mother, close that door. You're letting all the cold air out. Because I'd be just staring at it.
That's funny. I swear there's maybe once or twice where you said that to me.
Yeah, but not.
Yeah, that's funny.
Probably just because I had to feel like a mom to say it.
Probably. But yeah, I mean, yeah, so I guess some people do. But no, I can't think of anything to eat when I'm bored either. I think it's like, sometimes boredom, you can almost be paralyzed by the choices.
Yeah. Oh, that's true.
Like you're paralyzed by how many options there really are for you to do.
Right.
Yeah. And so then I just like can't do anything. And so I will sit there on my phone and doom scroll for like an hour because I was bored. Yeah. And I didn't know what else to do.
I'll play some Tetris looking thing. I don't know what it is called.
But I think if I were to sit and reconsider and be like, what's my energy right now?
I think that's going to shift what I do during boredom.
Yeah. And then be like, what's something that matches that energy?
What can match it? And that way I don't feel guilty. Well, Kelly, you're not doing this cleaning thing or whatever it may be.
But you're like, well, my energy's not there.
My energy's not there, but it is in gaining some knowledge of something. So maybe I'm going to read.
Yeah.
A different type of book. So I'm going to, that's a good.
I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. Woo. Well, hopefully we gave listeners some options for when they're bored. I feel like summer especially is like a time where people just get bored.
Yeah.
They don't have anything else to do or trips to do.
I think so.
That's the other thing. It's like, don't just like shop for trips either.
Okay.
It's like, I always think I got to go and do something when it's probably best just to stay at home.
Just to stay at home.
Yeah.
Okay. There's our tips for boredom. Don't shop online.
Don't shop online. That's it.
If you feel that need, call Sydney or text Sydney.
And I'll tell you don't need it.
I'm bored and I'm wanting to shop.
No, I am the ultimate, you don't need that person.
You don't need that. I know.
I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
So we don't know what we're doing
next week
time.
Is going to be
we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what July is.
That's July for us, We're going to see what comes up.
See what comes up. Yep.
Summer could be anything.
Yep. And as we get into like summer ending and into the fall, if any of you have any suggestions on topics or maybe people that we should interview and talk with or anything you'd like to hear, please let us know. You can contact us on any of the social platforms. We'd love to hear from you.
That's right. We look forward to next week when you take a breath and take a listen.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of An Incomplete Guide to Personal Growth. There are many ways you can stay connected. Follow us on Instagram at An Incomplete Guide Podcast, where you can sign up for our email list and get posts that delve deeper into our weekly topics. Make sure to subscribe to our podcast page wherever you listen to your podcasts. We would really appreciate a rating and sharing us with your family and friends.
We're so glad you chose to spend your time with us and hope there was a thought, a resource, or a laugh that you can take on your journey. We'll be here every Tuesday for you to take a breath and take a listen.